Welcome back to Call Me By Your Game, the podcast where I, your host Connor McCabe, bring on a guest to hear from them about a meaningful or memorable video game from a particular moment in their life. This is a podcast about what makes video games special to different people. And on today's episode, you're listening to another co-op edition. This is co-op episode 68, where with a lovely panel of people, I'm going to discuss a little game called Banjo-Kazooie. The co-op series differs a little bit from the normal format, where instead of diving deep with one person about, what they love about the game and the time in their life when it hit them, we more do a deep dive overview in one episode about the game itself. It's a little more of a critical and fun look at the game, getting into way more details than I normally get to do with a single guest. We'll probably still hit on some personal history and when we've played this game in our lives, but it's just more of a thorough breakdown. I'm also doing this episode as a part of the, this co-op series that I do once a month over on Patreon. It comes out on YouTube for free a week later. This is kind of a little tie-in to the N64 Diaries, the special series that I'm doing once a month here on the main feed, where I interview people about their relationship with my personal favorite console, the Nintendo 64. This game happened to originally release for that console, so I knew I had to do at least one game in the co-op series that was on the N64 this year, and I couldn't think of a better one to do, and you're going to hear why, because I'll talk about why it was just gnawing at me for years and years. A little bit of housekeeping as well before we invite our guests into my little cozy bear cabin that I have here, is that if you're listening to this, it's probably because you are a supporter at the $10 Engineer Toad tier on Patreon. If that's you, thank you so much. And if you're listening to this on YouTube, thank you as well. The video version, wow, how handsome are these people that you're about to see? Something you're going to say in a few seconds. If you like the show, I encourage you to share the show with a friend, especially if you're listening for free, or check us out on Patreon, because I do this every single month. There's a new release at this tier. And but if you listen to the free feed, you can hear those episodes from, I have such a big backlog. They're from like 3 years ago. So if you want to get a feel for the series more, check it out there. Check us out on YouTube if you don't, on Blue Sky and Instagram as well. Give us a follow over there. And that will pretty much do it. Let's bring in the panel for today's episode. First, let's welcome in. Got a nice little intro for everybody. Beaked-brained bird face, July Diaz. July, welcome to the pod.
Thanks for having me.
It's good to have you. We also have the glasses-faced mole, Jeremy Schmidt. And cutie patootie tootie, Michael McCollor. These are some pretty good impressions. I'm sure we'll be spending, I predict, at least 30 minutes talking about how the characters are voiced in the game. We've just gotten some good examples. But fellas, welcome to the podcast. Glad to have the three of you on.
What an honor.
Excited to be here.
I didn't know the N64 was your favoriteest console.
I was surprised to hear that too.
Yeah, it's my personal favorite console. By no means will I ever claim that it is the best. But it's the one that I had the most special experiences with and the most formative experiences. And it was the first time in my life where, it's the era where, and the console on which that gaming became more than a hobby for me. It became I might say, a primary hobby.
I was like, you became a professional?
Yeah,
it became more than a hobby.
Yeah, I clocked in and doing Pokemon Stadium runs at 8 a.m.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love
your mom's packing your lunch. You're going to work.
Yeah, I'm walking out the door, walking right back into my parents' bedroom where the N64 is hooked up. I know that when July, Jeremy, and I get together, we're called the Three Amiibos. McCollor, I actually meant to bring this up on the most recent episode of Video Games, a Comedy Show. The three, you, me, and Jeremy, we kind of need a nickname. But before we get to that, which we're not going to figure out today, what the hell do we call it when the four of us are together?
Yeah.
Because this is something
We've
here.
called it something before.
Have we?
That's what I thought. I could have sworn.
This is what AI should be used for, which is to scan all of our episodes right now.
And tell us. Yeah.
And make it video game themed.
Yes.
What's a video game that has the four crests?
Yeah.
The wind crests.
The
four
We could be like the 4 controller ports.
The 4 ports.
The 4 ports.
The four
Four
ports.
ports.
I like the 4 ports. The 4
Four
portsmen.
ports in a
The
storm.
four portsmen.
The
Four portsmen.
Portsmen of the apocalypse.
I mean, it ties into the N64.
I think it's good.
I'm
and
into it.
Yeah, let's
I'm into
go
it.
for it. Yeah.
The 4
jump right in.
portsmen, it is. Truly though, I'm so excited to have the 4 of us on. We've just done so much. We've had so many discussions about video games over the years. I couldn't think of a group that I wanted to talk about this game more with because it's a genre that I know we all have in common. Is something we really love from a console that I know we all really enjoy. But it's a game that I wasn't sure how much each of us loved, and I had a feeling that it was at least somewhat. So that's why I asked this crew here today. I'm really excited to get into it. Before, though, that we, just blaze ahead to the episode contents, I want to give everyone a quick moment to plug anything that they have on today's episode. Jeremy, is there anything you want people to know about you? Any place you want them to find you on the internet?
If you don't already listen to Video Games a Comedy Show, you should go anywhere where podcasts can be found to listen to Video Games a Comedy Show.
July Diaz, do you have anything to plug?
Yeah, check out the Roast of Mario, Roast of Donkey Kong, and Roast of Sonic the Hedgehog episodes of Video Games a Comedy Show.
Uh-huh.
And Mr. Michael McCollor.
Yeah, I'm a YouTube kid mostly these days. A lot of streams and making videos sometimes. YouTube.com/@secretblimp.
Incredible. Well, fellas, let's get into it. The first thing we're going to do today is talk about our own personal histories with this game. A little more of a brief version that you would normally do on my show. So just talk about I'll sort of set the scene and let you guys know how you want to go about this part, okay? Then we'll talk about the history and context of the game itself and then get into the main meat of the discussion. Banjo-Kazooie, for me, was a game that I discovered through Nintendo Power. Now, by a raise of hands, for the video viewers, how many of us were Nintendo Power subscribers at one point?
Oh yeah.
Gosh, I'm
got
so
two-
jealous.
I
Only
wish.
2 of us.
I had
Oh.
copies of select issues, but never a subscription.
I know. My parents never gave me a subscription to anything except for Focus on the Family.
Family first, America first, right, Jeremy?
Yeah.
Yeah. My best friend growing up, who comes up on basically every other episode, Eddie Martin, he was subscribed. He had a great influence on my life in the sense that like he would be into stuff and his mom would talk positively about it to my mom, so my mom would then let me do certain things and one of those things was get a subscription to the Nintendo Power magazine. But by the time I got a subscription, I think it must have been.
What was that conversation between moms? Like I am so enamored
You know
to
what?
imagine you Eddie Martin's mom pulling your mom aside and like, this kid's gotta get Nintendo Power because the dangers out there of what he could be subscribing to. Nintendo Power is the best of the bad answers.
What if instead your son gets a subscription to Hustler, Mrs. McCabe? What are you going to do then?
Yeah.
But I think it was more along the lines of like, hey, Eddie reads this thing thoroughly. It was like a great reading encouragement. I was already a reader by that age, but any way to get us to read more, I think was muy bueno, as we would say in my household.
Yeah.
Good.
Yes.
Taco Tuesday.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. Taco Tuesday. Don't get me started in the
I
McCabe
know.
household.
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
driest, most unseasoned tacos you've ever had.
Eddie Martin's mom pulling your mom aside, you gotta try tacos on Tuesday.
Gotta do Taco Tuesday.
I probably started subscribing in 99 or 2000, right around there after Eddie and our friendship really blossomed. And funny enough, this series, I was talking to Jeremy about this. My entry to the series was not Banjo-Kazooie, but it was Banjo-Tooie, which Nintendo Power, by the time I had the subscription, was advertising this because the game we're talking about today came out in 98. This came out in the year 2000. So whenever that was, it would have been perfect for me to be reading about it and getting excited. So I played so much Banjo-Tooie growing up. It was never a game I finished. but I'd love to dive in and start like a new file every 2, 3, 4 years and just kind of just explore the world and get a little deeper. Because of that, at some point, I want to say in like high school, I got a copy of Banjo-Kazooie off of eBay. So here's my copy of Banjo-Kazooie that I played for this podcast today. The previous owner wrote with Sharpie on top of it. I'm sure I can get this off, but I kind of don't want to. So someone with the last name of Atherton used to.
Atherton.
So wherever you are, I imagine John Atherton is who I'm subscribing this to. I got the game, played it so much less than Tui. Like I would even go back to Tui before this, and I really like honestly the farthest I remember getting into this game outside of this current playthrough was Treasure Trove
Yeah,
Cove.
sure.
The second level.
Oh wow.
I know.
Yeah.
So I never beat it. I did, however, I think also through Nintendo Power. I don't know if I earned points or just spent money. Eventually got a little Banjo-Kazooie plushie, which I have here.
Oh,
wow.
yes.
The video viewers are getting. So this is from the 90s.
Oh, my.
And I remember being obsessed with being like, what does Kazooie look like under the backpack? Like, what's under here?
Mhm.
Guys, I mean, it's just it's sewn shut. So you will never know.
Mm.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I don't think he's got feet is what I'm saying. No
He's a
talons.
never nude.
I think he's a never nude. But these are games I would revisit over the years, especially during my casual period of just kind of replaying games that I had as a kid, or just diving into them. Even when they came to Nintendo Switch Online, I didn't give them a shake. But coming into this year, I was like, I have a huge Banjo-Kazooie shaped hole in my history of Nintendo 64 because I'm doing the series, and I was like, let's put it on the calendar. Let's give me a reason to play it. And so this is my first time playing it all the way through.
Woo!
Yeah.
That's huge.
Congrats, man.
Yeah, I remember I played it also a lot later in life to completion,
Yeah.
and it felt like a big deal
Yes.
when I finally finished it.
Yeah, is that like the first and only time you ever played it, Jer?
No, it was a rental for me growing up. And I too only got to Treasure Trove.
Cove.
And Cove, and did the flying. I did the flying for a bit and kind of like remember these things, but then it's time to take it back to Blockbuster or whatever, and never owned a copy. And this game, I feel like this game sort of like loomed large in the like best N64 games discussion, and or Mario 64 adjacent games. And so I was always so curious and wanted to see the whole thing and see all the worlds, and finally did it like a couple years ago.
Awesome. I love that. Yeah, we'll probably talk about it, but for me, it's been one that is brought up in every N64 video you ever watch, any 3D platformer enjoyer, people are bringing this title up. July Diaz, what is your history with this title?
It's very similar to you both. More so Connor. I guess less so Jeremy. It's more close to Connor, not Jeremy at all.
Hell? What the hell?
I never owned a copy of this, but remember playing it a bunch whenever it came out, because a cousin of mine had it. So whenever I would go over to his place, we would play it. But I also don't remember getting super far into it. Maybe up to what's after Treasure Trove Cove?
Clanker's
Cavern.
Yes, because I remember not liking the mechanics of swimming back then. It was a little difficult for me. And yeah, over the years, I just love Banjo as a character. He's a character that's appeared also in Diddy Kong Racing, so I knew him a lot from there.
It was his first appearance.
Yeah. And later on, when the game got ported to Xbox Live, that's when I was able to get it there and played a little further. But I don't think I ever finished this game until this playthrough. So yeah, it was just a lot of fun getting through it this time around, and I'll explain later why it was really difficult, and it took me probably 20 plus hours to finish this game this time around, mostly because of the last two worlds, and also something that I hit upon at the very end that I didn't realize was going to happen.
Oh, I can guess what that might be.
Yeah.
Okay, July. Very good. You bringing up, loving this character. I think even though I had kind of a not even a substantial experience with these titles growing up, I also really liked the duo of Banjo and Kazooie. So, but not enough to ever try the GBA games. Not enough to ever seek
No.
out. Yeah, no way. That was a
Right.
sin,
Lord,
right,
no.
McCollor?
Yeah.
I can't
The
imagine.
GBA game.
Or even nuts and bolts. I never was curious enough. I honestly looked at that and would put up my nose.
I was very excited
Oh.
about that game, and then until I read up more about it when, some magazine, and finding out that it was more like a builder game as
Mhm.
opposed to like
Yeah.
a platformer, and that kind of like blew myself. I think I did at some point play that, and it just wasn't for me.
Mm.
I always really liked Banjo's design in Nuts and Bolts, though. Or like his
Yeah.
Yes.
redesign, I always thought looked
Yes.
cool.
Yeah.
And I was so excited when it came to Smash Brothers too. When they
Oh,
announced
yeah.
Smash.
I remember that's what I was going to get to as well. I remember watching that. It was the June 2019 Nintendo Direct. I still think it's one of the best they ever had. I remember watching that thing because there was so much that was revealed in it, including, but this was the big kahuna for me because they did the fake out because King K. Rool before the game came out had been revealed in the same, a very almost identical cinematic with Donkey and Diddy in their little cabana or whatever, or their like treehouse, and then they do the fake out again when you think it's going to be Banjo-Kazooie, but it's actually Duck Hunt. But then it is Banjo-Kazooie. I was like so excited, I was like tearing up when that happened. Like what?
Yeah.
I remember texting friend of the show Nick Limone, who was like covering this and being because I knew he was going to be watching it. And I was like, dude, Banjo-Kazooie got revealed, and was so thrilled.
Wow.
Despite like not having a thorough experience with these.
You're making me nostalgic for 2019 or 2018, whenever that was.
Yeah,
Nintendo Directs just in general when they used to
Yeah.
have stuff that was cool.
Back when I was living through it, I thought I was in hell. But now when you describe it, I'm
Now
like,
we're-
hey, we were eating pretty good.
Yeah, we're in hell now, Jeremy.
Yeah, little did you know the next year that'd be the real hell.
Well, think about how great this time is going to feel 2 years from now.
I know, that's what
When
makes
we're in
me
worse hell.
sick.
This will feel like a paradise.
It feels terrible, and in 2 years, I'm going to be like, I miss 2026.
God. Well, we also have got to hear from Michael McCollor. I know you to be one of the biggest Mario 64 fans in the world. So I was like, this guy's got to have. I figured you would have a sort of affinity for this title, but you also based a bonus Patreon show that we had going for a while, Swap, on the mechanic of stop and swap in the Kazooie games.
Yeah, stop and swap to me is the funnest. It's kind of a video game conspiracy, even though it's been answered 30 times over. I don't remember my first introduction to Banjo-Kazooie, but like I know I got it for my birthday the year it came out, and it was the only thing I wanted.
Wow.
Like, I must have been reading about it in Nintendo Power or something. Like, I just knew that game was coming, and I was more excited for it than anything. I just Googled to see when it comes out June 29th, 1998. My birthday is July 30th, so I got it a month after release.
Happy birthday.
Happy
And
birthday.
I remember we went to Walmart on my birthday, and my mom like secretly had got the strategy guide and snuck it in the cart and bought it like without me knowing. And then as we were leaving Walmart, the like anti-theft beeper went off. And so they just had to do like check your bag and go through and be like, oh, yep, this all matches the receipt. And so they pulled it out, and I saw the Banjo-Kazooie strategy guide, and my mom was like, that was supposed to be a surprise. She's like mad at me.
Yeah.
How I remember
You
it.
It's your
ruined
fault
the
'cause you wanted
surprise.
it.
But yeah, I had Banjo-Kazooie from the jump. I got into it and 100%ed it.
Oh,
Probably just because of the guide. But now it is a game where maybe every year and a half, I'll just sit down and just power through and 100% it again.
awesome.
Wow.
Can you recall your most recent time that you kind of did one of those journeys?
Well, I did it again to replay it for the show.
Oh, cool. Thank you. As if I didn't ask you guys to replay at least some of it like a month ago.
You didn't demand.
Thank you. I'm like, thank you, Mr. McCollor.
I didn't finish my 100% playthrough though. I'm one world away, and I was trying to cram earlier today, and it was just like not happening. I'm in Click Clock Woods. I keep dying. It's just like,
yeah.
So it didn't happen today, but I rewatched the Gruntilda fight just to refresh myself. But yeah, I just played through it again. I would say probably 2 years ago I did it.
Nice.
And we'll just, yeah, it's one of these games that is so mapped into my memory, but like in I have this a lot with Resident Evils, but I think it's because there's a ton of remakes of different Resident Evils and different versions and everything. But like Banjo-Kazooie, I'm like, I remember this puzzle piece being somewhere else, and I don't know why it's here.
Interesting. Oh, yeah. That's so funny. I wonder if some of like the sort of quilt of Tooie and Super Mario 64 are sort of muddying that for you, just being in these polygonal spaces.
Well, it's weird because I have almost your experience, except never fixing it with Banjo-Tooie. I have started, I don't think I've ever been past the third world in Banjo-Tooie. And like, that's my big Nintendo 64 shame. I need to sit down with that and finish that. And Mario, I don't know. It all feels, I did realize what it was today. Like, I know Click Clock Woods and Rusty Bucket Bay like the back of my hand because I died so many times and had to do those so many times. But then the ones before that, I kind of just blew through.
Yes.
And so I don't remember them as well. And therefore it's all kind of surprising still.
Okay. Yeah. That makes a ton of sense. Well, guys, thank you for sharing your personal histories. Let's, just in case we have people listening who are not super familiar with this game, I'm going to go through some very basic history and context. If any of you happen to have a fun fact or are an expert on the history of this game, you can jump in with any fun details here. Because I don't plan to do any sort of like bonus at the end of the episode with secrets or whatnot. But if you want to share details, you can. But I'll be pretty basic stuff is going to be shared right here. So I'll kick that off right now. Banjo-Kazooie is a mascot platformer developed by Rare and published by Nintendo for the Nintendo 64 in 1998. I believe McCollor said June 29th was the original release date. One of a kind of a rare thing at the time to have a game released. It's because I'm sure Rare was the primary developer, but that it came out first in the NTSC region.
It was a rare thing.
Oh! Controlling the player characters, the Bear Banjo and the Bird Kazooie, the player attempts to save Banjo's kidnapped sister Tootie from the witch Gruntilda, or Grunty. The player explores 9 worlds within Grunty's hideout to gather items and progress. So the Grunty's hideout is your hub world that you progress further and further through, based on the amount of like music notes that you collect in all the worlds. Using their traversal and combat abilities, they complete challenges such as solving puzzles, jumping over obstacles, and defeating bosses. Rare conceived Banjo-Kazooie as a role-playing game called Dream for the SNES following the completion of Donkey Kong Country 2 in 1995. Are all of you familiar with Project Dream and sort of like what it even looks like visually a little bit?
Yeah, I feel like I've watched some like do you know gaming kind of videos.
Yes.
Yeah.
They'll bring this up.
Tough.
It's like an ISO. So Jeremy, this is because I saw you shaking your head no.
Yeah, I don't know this.
Oh, you got to check this thing out. I should try to find a video for you later.
It's just Project Dream.
If you search Project Dream Rare game, it'll come up. But it's like this RPG isometric adventure game where there's like a little like pirate looking, almost Peter Pan pirate looking kid kind of walking around was the main character of this game. They ended up never finishing it. But the 15-member team for this game, led by Greg Mayles, transitioned development to the N64 and retooled Project Dream as a platformer after the RPG format proved too complex. And this game was inspired, they said, by Super Mario 64 and designed to appeal to a broad audience similar to Disney films. Grant Kirkhope composed the soundtrack, which I'll say just because music we don't always bring up too much on these episodes. For me, I had such a journey playing through this game with the music where at first I'm listening to it, I'm like, I love this. I can't get enough of it. These are earworms. And then I'm totally sick of it. I'm sick of the sounds. I'm sick of the music. And then
Wow.
my last third of the experience, I swung all the way back the other way. And I was
Oh,
like,
wow.
actually, this is awesome.
This was my first playthrough where I realized I think I might hate the music. Like
Yep.
you would ask me any other time in my history with this game, I would be like, yeah, the music's beautiful. What are we talking about here?
Yes, and I don't know if it's the design or the sound that is the sound font that is used by the N64 and that Rare employs here, but there is something about it that sometimes is grating to me, and other times I am like ecstatic to be listening to it.
Yeah. So Rare is known for having sometimes really great music. Like Donkey Kong Country has like really great music throughout. But for whatever reason with Banjo, I feel like they went like circus mode. It's like everything is just like a circus song, and you're
Yes.
like, ugh, yeah. I mean, we'll get into it, but there's like just so many little grating annoyances buried inside Banjo-Kazooie, like that and the voices. I mean, it's just like,
The voices I
Yeah.
think are probably worse, despite me still being entertained by them a lot of the time. But there's so much to be said about that.
It's almost like if the aesthetic of the music and the character voices is aimed for babies.
Yeah.
for a baby.
I
Yeah.
wonder.
Maybe we should ask a baby what they think about it.
Yeah, do you like this, baby?
Yeah.
Hey, baby, do you like this
Oh,
song?
it's puking again.
If it's the first song you ever heard, it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good point. If it's the first song you ever heard, it's actually really good.
You play this music for the kid from The Giver, dude. He's gonna rock.
Oh my god. This game. So speaking of the music, continuing, reading from my text here. Banjo-Kazooie was one of the first games to feature what they call vertical remixing, where various sound layers fade in and out depending on the player's location. This is kind of similar to a technique and a program used by LucasArts back when they would make like the Secret of Monkey Island games, specifically Monkey Island 2, where I forget what it was called. I think the system was called iMuse, but the technique they would do was the first time that there were like a sort of dynamic transition between music tracks from like you're outside on the boat dock to going into one of the boats which is a restaurant. You would see like a change. And this sort of has a similar transition element that they use, but mostly I notice it in Grunty's Lair because the different places in Grunty's Lair, it's the same song, it just uses different instruments or has a different vibe.
Boom, 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 boom.
And a lot of that.
Well, and also like I notice it when you go underwater, right? Is that like a good example? Like you're like
Absolutely.
above water sounds like something, and underwater it's like doo dee dee. It's like a little bit more aqua.
Yeah, they'll use a lot of that in Donkey Kong 64 as well.
Ah.
Were you gonna say something, McCollor?
Yeah, I keep it was one of those things about Super Mario World that I didn't learn until much later. Like for some reason I wasn't picking up on it, but like adding percussion when you're riding Yoshi.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Was like a clear example of this, but I was noticing it even again. I was just playing Click Clock Woods, and obviously the different seasons have different music, but like transitioning from the little houses of all the like the squirrels back into the main world, it was subtler than I remembered, and I was actually kind of impressed with that. Like again, technically, because I think this music sucks.
McCollor, were you playing this on Nintendo Switch?
Yes.
And July, were you as well for the show?
Well,
okay, never mind.
It goes into
okay.
something
Else
else.
I played this for Nintendo Switch.
Gotcha. I used original hardware, baby, because I was like, I've got this thing. I think I can do it.
That's cool.
But yeah, like the music, I ended up swinging way back positive on, despite having a really frustrating time for basically a third of the game. To continue hearing, released in North America in June 29th, 1998, and then in Europe the following month. The game originally sold over 3 million copies. It's still one of the best selling N64 games of all time, and was released to critical acclaim. It's held in some regards as at a similar echelon to Super Mario 64, praised for It's got similar strengths, but similar weaknesses, and vice versa. I think it does some things. I think it. We'll get into it in the main discussion, but I'll be really excited to honestly do a little comparing because it's hard not to just look at Mario 64 when you're thinking about this game. And let's see, it was followed, as I've already said, by Banjo-Tooie in 2000, and then on 2 Game Boy Advance games, Grunty's Revenge in 2003, Banjo Pilot in 2005, and Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts in 2008. Following Microsoft's 2002 acquisition of Rare, 4J Studios developed a port for the Xbox 360 in 2008, and later included in the Xbox One compilation called Rare Replay in 2015. And then it finally came to Switch in 2022 on the Switch, the NSO expansion pack. Yeah, this game, it's left a huge mark, especially in the platforming arena, but the character being from an era that is so, known for I feel like its mascots and its mascot platformers. These guys are very well remembered by a lot of kids our age today. Does anyone want to share any additional tidbits about this game that's helpful for the history and context before we talk about just dive into the main discussion? Okay, let's get into it a little bit.
So this is 98?
This is 1990, summer of 98, baby.
Wow. So this kind of same year as Ocarina of Time.
It's same year. Yeah,
it's
a few months before.
Year. This is probably like the last great year for the Nintendo 64, right? I mean, we would consider it
in its cycle, right?
It's late-ish, and then like things that come out. I mean, what do we think? Is 99 good too for 2000?
I can name a few games each year. 99, we've got original Smash Brothers.
Okay.
We've got Pokemon Snap.
Okay.
We've got Mario Party 2, I think.
It's okay.
There's probably many more games, but I think 98 probably takes the cake. 2000 has Perfect Dark.
Paper Mario.
Mario.
Well, that's 2001 in the US at least.
Oh.
So it's like the same year as the game.
Man, no wonder I never played Paper Mario back in the day. It was because I was already playing a PlayStation 2 back then.
Pokemon Stadium's also out in 2000, but I think 98. I mean, the top of the cream of the crop there between at least just Ocarina and Banjo is really hard to argue with.
Yeah,
and 98 is GoldenEye too, right?
I think that's 97. I think that's the same year as Star Fox 64.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the height. Okay. You're saying it's like this is the peak of the N64.
Yeah.
I don't think I mean, you could easily make an argument for that. Yes.
Listen, it's clearly the peak of video games.
Yeah.
1998, like
yeah.
I might even argue
Banjo-Kazooie, Ocarina of Time, Resident Evil 2, Half-Life, like
Metal Gear
This
Solid.
is the best year that they made.
Mm-hmm. It's the
Bill
best year.
Clinton, one of them. Bill Clifton jumps in the swimming pool.
We did a whole Space Solace on the year 1998.
Yeah.
That's how good it was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get into the main discussion, folks. Coming into this game, I was very curious as how it would hold up, both in present day standards as such an accomplished gamer these days, but also as someone who loves 3D platformers on this console and someone who's had extensive experience with Tooie, as I've already said. And I think the thing that I want to start talking about is the platforming and the gameplay. Especially since we all got to play some of this recently, there's so much I think to like here, and then there are minor frustrations which I think can really be tied to the time and has issues that like similar games on the console had. Jeremy, maybe I'll turn to you first.
Yeah, baby.
When it comes to like the gameplay, what comes to mind first? Is it the move set? Is it the platforming, the collectathon?
There is some. Okay, I mean, like, I'm just gonna answer honestly. The literal thing when I think about this game, what I think of is I'm jumping towards a ledge, and I'm not gonna clear it, but then Banjo just kind of kicks his feet under, and then I do clear it. Like, I do make it. Like, it's this thing of like forcing your way onto a ledge that felt so unclean. Like, it felt so unsophisticated. It felt like, in the way that Mario 64, I got to a place where I knew every jump distance And whether that would make me grab onto a ledge or not, I never got that with Banjo. I never got it. It's not precise, it's not like, I never felt like precise. And I mean, because we'll probably talk about every aspect of the gameplay, but like, yeah, just, like so many tools in your tool belt, and they're all mapped to the C sticks, the C buttons, and they're all so confusing, and I never remember which one necessarily does which.
Oh, I'm constantly, when I was playing this game, especially when I'm like, anytime I'm moving around any world, I'm doing the like, I should look up the specific names, but like the trot that Kazooie has, because it's the fastest thing. You also feels like you slip around a little less. So I'm always using Z in one of those things, and when I would try to do like shoot eggs, Jeremy, I would always forget how to do that.
I mean, once you sit there with it, you're like, oh, it's intuitive. Like up C is a forward egg, and back C is a fart egg, and then left C is the run. Like in an extended play session, you get the hang of it. But I feel like anytime I turn it off and turn it back on, I like, oh no, what can I do again? What are my powers? And Banjo-Kazooie is one thing. Banjo-Tooie, this gets to a fever pitch of like, you would just have too much things to be able to think about. I love both these games dearly.
No, listen, great games. The thing I think of in jumping is like jumping for a ledge, almost making it, and then Kazooie pops out of the backpack because you have not quite a double jump, but like a 1.2 jump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and Kazooie will pop out and flap, and then I will just fall. Like Kazooie will flap as I slide along the wall I was trying to get to the top of.
It's so funny because I feel like every time I return to these games, I have to be reminded that there is no ledge grabbing. That's just not something Banjo's capable of doing, despite having these freaking huge paws.
Yeah.
When in Mario 64, I'm relying on that on most ledges, especially if they're like a wall. I think
they give him a ledge grab in Tooie as well, which is a thing that they probably just when they were designing Tooie were like, there's no way around it.
Yeah,
he's got to grab that ledge.
Yeah,
I imagine there was like one designer who fought for it. It's like, no, let's make them. I'm sorry, fought against it.
Yeah,
like, no, we had keep the purity of this game. Make them jump on top of things.
Yeah.
You talked too about all of the added moves in Tooie, and I think you're reminding me, one of the reasons I struggled really entering this game and like making much progress growing up and even up until recently was that I was so used to having the full move set from this game as you start in Tooie, because that's something they do. You have every skill you learn here or ability that you learn, you bring into that game, and then they add too many onto it. So I would start Kazooie and feel naked, honestly, that I don't have the I'll call it the turkey trot, or I can't go in first person mode and shoot eggs at things like as if I'm using a rifle,
a gun.
Yes.
Yeah. There's whole first person shooter sections of Tooie that are that are just not in Kazooie.
I played that multiplayer so much growing up.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yes.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eggs are such an interesting thing in this game because you actually don't need eggs that much. You don't use eggs that much.
But when you do, it's precise and it's like time-based. I feel like I'm always frantically shooting eggs and doing that thing where you're shooting eggs, but you're like spinning somehow.
Yeah.
Like it's the camera. So I'm shooting 3 eggs at a time in a spray.
There are several, I think there's like 2 specific moments I think of where for most of the game, I'm full on eggs. I got 100 or 200, however many I have at that point, whatever my capacity is. And then there's a couple moments where I am unloading those bad boys. I think in is it Rusty Bucket Bay? Is that the second to last level? Yes. There's a bunch of like, I forget what you fall. You like fall into the ship and you fight a bunch of boxes or something like that.
Yes. The boss boom
They're
box.
evil boxes with teeth.
That's what they are. I just pooped so many eggs on these guys.
Oh.
That and the grunty fight was where I used my eggs, really.
Well, yeah, definitely there's some bosses that require the eggs. Like I think you have to use the eggs for the very first boss, the big ape in Mumbo's.
Yeah, it's like the
yeah.
tutorial for
It's
the
tutorial
shooting,
egg. Yeah.
which even that seems like, oh, you should be able to go into first person mode to shoot the eggs, right?
Baby.
And they just don't.
Keep
they
the
don't
purity
wait.
of it.
Yeah.
I mean, what's fun about those first person sections in Tui, at least, is like it's fully GoldenEye maps controls. So you just are doing GoldenEye, which is fun.
And I never got good at GoldenEye, but I was pretty decent at this. I thinking about the controls, I feel like that's what we're talking about so much here, is like as much as I felt like by the middle of the game, if not early, I feel like I've got a great handle on them. I think because of maybe some of because this game lacks some of the precision that you might have in Super Mario 64, that game's going to get brought up 300 times this episode. I never felt fully like in charge or safe. I would feel confident, but I would never feel like when I'm Mario in that game, I feel like I can do no wrong. I will still, but I still get used to this full arsenal, and I get used to playing the game certain way. Like I love to do this thing in these games where you run as Banjo, and then you press Z, but you kind of keep sliding as he crouches, and then you do the tall jump, the backflip. I love that because you can almost do the like Donkey Kong. What do they call that when you roll off the edge and jump?
Oh, yeah.
Whatever that technique is called.
I think just the roll off the edge and jump, but
yeah.
They've
the Donkey Kong roll off the edge and jump. Yeah,
there's like a term for it now, but
I think
like
it's
you do in the DKC games.
ROTEAJ.
Oh, that's what they call it. ROTEAJ.
Yeah, yeah, ROTEAJ.
Roteja, as they say. We also said that in my family.
Yeah, I hardly know ya.
But I actually really grew to like and be comfortable with the controls, despite I don't think it's bad. I think it's actually pretty good. It's just not as precise, and there's way more of a tool set than you have in other games. So maybe that's part of it. But July, I haven't heard as much from you as far as like controlling the character goes. Is there anything else you want to add? Are there any standout moves or go-tos you have in this game?
Okay, so I'll just say here. I'll finally explain why I've been so quiet about
my
this.
Seat.
So I have an EverDrive for my 64, and so that's how originally I was going to play this. But I couldn't find my cables for the 64 or my controller.
Oh no!
And so I swear I must have put them away somewhere in the storage bin with all my other games. And so I looked and could not find it. So I had to go online and do another workaround for this. And I do have
He's grabbing the collar of his neck and pulling it away and kind of mouthing, ay, ay, ay.
I do have the 64 controller for the Switch, the wireless controller.
Yeah, yeah.
And so apparently this fan-made project called Banjo-Kazooie Recompiled exists, and it's something that was done earlier this year. And I guess they do this with a couple of different 64 games where they essentially upscale the original game. Like you have to use a ROM, and you can play it at 30 or 60 frames per second and play it at 1080p or maybe even more than that.
Oh my god.
And you can like add mods to it and all this stuff. I didn't do any of that stuff. I just played the original version of it, vanilla, on this emulator.
But at 60 frames?
No, I had it locked at 30 frames, I think. Okay.
But that's a bummer.
But here's a few more frames than I played it at.
Probably about 15 more frames than you played it at.
To me, it played very smooth and everything looked so clean. It showcased it more of a GameCube era game. At that level. But the controls, this is where I thought I had some Mandela effect. And I call it the Mandela effect.
Modelo effect.
The Modelo effect. Where I didn't think like, oh, was the camera really this bad when I originally played it? Because every time I was trying to use the eggs, either forward or pooping them out of your butt, the camera for me did a full 360.
Oh.
Oh yeah. And so I didn't realize this until the very end when I was maybe 4 hours into the final battle.
Oh my God.
I went into the settings, and there are settings that are not counterintuitive. There's no way for you to like know like this is how you change this. So apparently I had to figure this out. So apparently the way that the controls were mapped to my controller were if you push a certain button twice, it does something else. It does a different move, whatever is set to that.
Yeah.
And so the C buttons were set to, if I pressed any C button, it controls the camera as well.
Yep.
That makes sense.
I get it.
Oh,
It does make sense.
And normally in that mode, when you're pressing Z to crouch, then it uses a different tool rather.
Yes.
Oh, that's
so when
awful.
when I'm shooting eggs at Gruntilda, the whole camera is moving backwards, so I just have to guess where I'm shooting the eggs.
This is hard mode, dude.
You know, it's one of those situations where nobody's wrong. Like, you're not wrong for being confused as to why this is happening, but that's like, I see why they would be like, yeah, the C buttons have to control the cameras no matter what the context.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they just had a weird setting.
But besides that, up to that point, everything about the moveset, I remember like trotting around with Kazooie. I love that. I didn't have too much trouble with the platforming aspects of it. It would have been nice to have some sort of grab the ledge thing in this, but I didn't feel like I needed it. Once you like start unlocking certain moves, like the flying feather, like to me, I was like, oh, this you can like. It opens up the world so much, and I didn't find anything else besides that difficult. I found it very like you are learning the basics of the combat and platforming along the way, and it holds your hand a little bit.
I feel like the game mostly works as intended in the way things are described. Like it works, and it's pretty intuitive. There is one, I can think of one specific move that I could never quite nail, which is whatever the move is once you have the flying ability where you press, I think it's Z or B, and Kazooie basically rockets you forward.
Oh,
the air attack.
The Beak Buster.
The Beak Buster. I could honestly.
That was also hard because the camera would move for me when I do it.
Oh my God. Well, even with that,
so funny.
I couldn't tell. I'm like, okay, does this go where I'm aiming? Does it go like on a horizontal line from wherever you are? Like with the camera, I felt like I would try to aim and it just wouldn't. It took me a while to get used to it, and I would still get it wrong a lot of the time.
I always felt like I was holding my breath. You press that button and you're like, I sure hope it works. And most of the time it did. Like I was always, especially killing those snowmen.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that was probably the most difficult enemy.
That's a frustrating section.
I feel like I could clear them, but every time it felt like I was missing, and then they died.
Yep.
And this is something, I know I keep bringing up Banjo-Kazooie a lot, but that's because I'm like way deep in playing that game right now. But Banjo-Kazooie, they don't fix this. The flying still remains kind of an enigma. Like, you know, and it's an enigma in sort of a bunch of different ways too. Like in the way that Mario 64 got it right the first time, or at least a version of right, where you're like, I at least know how to navigate. Like Banjo-Kazooie definitely has like its own set of flying issues. One of the things that we've been talking about or kind of mentioning is the frame rate. And I think this is like a really important aspect of the gameplay in Banjo-Kazooie. And it's like a big distinguisher between this and Mario 64. And the reason I think we keep bringing up Mario 64 is because it's like the tentpole 3D platformer, and this game wanted to be Mario 64. This game was like trying to ape it, and in a lot of ways it does. And I think when I was a kid, it tricked me into thinking this was better Mario 64 because it was more game. But because it's more game, the frame rate is very low. It's capped at 30, but then it will dip throughout your experience playing it. And when you go back to Mario 64 and you realize that that's at a lock 60, where the frame rate almost never dips throughout, what it means is like
do that?
I know it's a technical miracle, but it's also just like you're engaging with the game in a whole different way. Banjo-Kazooie is a slow franchise. It is a slow moving 3D platformer. It is like when you're just running around as Banjo, it basically feels like you're underwater, like as compared to the way Mario will just zip around and run and jump and leap and leaps and bounds, and Banjo's like
well, Mario's not carrying a bird.
I know.
You know,
It's because I also met Banjo in Diddy Kong Racing, and he didn't have Kazooie yet. Whenever I saw Kazooie, I was like, oh, it's like corrupted Banjo. It's like there's something wrong with him. In the same way that I felt about Flood in Mario Sunshine, where I'm like, oh, it's not good Mario. It's like Mario with shit on his back.
You're putting into words a feeling I didn't know I had.
Yeah, so it's crazy, but it's like it's definitely a kid's thought, you know?
I do feel best when I'm running around as Banjo and Kazooie is stuffed inside that backpack.
This, to your point, Jeremy, like you're right. This is so much of the game, and the gameplay is slow, whether it be the game can't run at a full 30 most of the time, or the moveset is slow, or even just I'm slow in the way that I'll like line up jumps, especially when you're high in some of those levels that scale high vertically, like Click Clock Woods. When you're up there, you're trying to climb to the top of that thing. I am so deliberate, and once you do something enough times, you get a little more confident, and you're like, I kind of know this in my bones. But sometimes you are just methodical, slow.
Also, sometimes when you know it in your bones, you still jump wrong.
That,
and it's not like Mario 64 is perfect. Like, there's plenty of that in that game too, where you like, if you're not an expert at it, you're gonna be like banging your head against the wall. Especially and similarly to the later game stages, the early stages in this, maybe not Clanker's Cavern, but like the early stages are like kind of just like a delightful treat. I feel like all the way through, in the same way Mario 64 feels that way. But then it's like it's like that Clock Woods, Click Clock Woods, or Tick Tock Wood.
You got it.
Oh my God, what a nightmare!
I like it. The idea of it.
Me too.
Like, you see little subtle changes in each season, and it all like I don't know if you guys experimented with this, like going into the winter and then going backward into the summer and all that, to see like if it still like carries on, like certain things that you do.
Oh, certain elements, yeah.
I would just only go in order, because I would feel like, oh, if I go backward, I don't know if it would like erase progress that way or something.
Oh, like do the rules of time travel apply here?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I always assumed when you were going around, first of all, I will say Click Clock Woods is a strong contender for my favorite level in any video game.
Whoa.
I love Click Clock. Like, there's something that's so emotional about seeing those, like, the story of this treehouse being built over these seasons. But I always imagined each time you went around, like if you went backwards, it wasn't that you were going back to the previous one. It was just that a full year was advancing.
Oh, okay.
And then you were back again.
I love that logic. That's great.
I don't think it holds up, because I think the treehouse does degrade. But that's my thinking.
I also think like just aesthetically every stage is awesome. Like, I just think like this game's aesthetically is just like perfect.
It might be the highlight of the game.
I love being in these places, these spaces so much.
You know what I love and hate is putting the puzzle pieces on the picture or the frame, and it does the opposite of what Mario 64 does. You don't jump into the painting. You have to go and find the entrance for the hub world somewhere else.
It's a big problem.
Yes.
I think that the way this game handles stages, and Tui's worse, it's a big problem. It's like, where is everything? Why is everything where? And like,
yes, and if you put the game down and get back to it a couple days later, you're like, how do I go back to the entrance of this world?
I will say for me that is feature, not bug, because it's inspiring, like the exploration. I think Banjo-Kazooie, the one thing Banjo-Kazooie does better than Mario 64, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of things you could argue it does, but like I think it feels like there's more secrets, especially in the overworld, because there's that extra element of what am I going to find in here? Is it going to be a new level, or is it going to be an entrance to a level? It just like doubles the amount of fun little surprises you can find.
Yeah, there's so much more personality and kind of deliberate design in the characterization of the world from like each of the levels you go into, just Grunty's hideout. And I think that has pros and cons if you compare the two games. The pros are exactly what you just said, McCollor. Like, it's so fun to explore. It's fun to see like how deep does this cavern go. You're meeting very well-designed characters that have full personalities and their own voices, whereas in Mario 64 it's almost the like not just the creepiness but the mystery of what's in this very bare place. It's bare bones, whereas you kind of know all the stuff they give you in Kazooie if you just find it. There's more mystery to me in 64. I don't think that's a pro or a con necessarily, but it is such a different feeling you get going into this fully realized world. Especially, I feel like this game shows us what designers were able to do so much more after 2 more years with the console. Of like, look at the personality of this place, I think, and the designs of the 3D models specifically are something that stood out, really shined for me.
This
Jeremy,
game feels
kind of
like
hesitated there. I feel like.
Huh?
Oh, Jeremy hates it.
Did you
Jeremy hates
were you like hesitating on that
I'm
idea?
thinking everything you guys are saying is so interesting to me. I'm just thinking about it all because I'm
good
like
podcaster.
I'm just trying to like, yeah, truly. I'm kind of listening to a show right now, and I'm kind of like, and I'm kind of thinking to myself, do I agree?
You're on it, too.
And I'm on the show. Isn't that crazy?
What if the whole
and
show
so
was
many times
just...
I'm listening to a show and I'm like,
Yes.
I want to talk now. But now I have that opportunity and I'm silent.
Well, what if the whole show was just us going like... Who's your favorite bad voice in this game? Because they're all pretty terrible.
Oh, God. I mean, I can tell you the one I hate the most is Gruntilda.
Yeah.
That's just the absolute low point of the game. Is also Gruntilda... Oh, I mean, I'm jumping all over the place, but
It's her politics, right?
I hate Gruntilda. I'm like not...
Even in the game over version of her?
I don't... No, that's the hottest thing I've ever seen in my whole life.
That kind of scared me as a kid. I was like afraid of
scary.
how hot she was. I was like, something's wrong.
Yeah.
It scares me to this day. It's just like seeing the bad ending, and it's like, oh, and then my little sister's a creature now.
I think to what you guys are saying about exploration, there is definitely, at least appears to be more here to find and do. I would be curious to know if that's actually true or if it's just like the way things are laid out. But let's say that is true. I do think something about this game, though, will, like, just because there's more exploration doesn't mean all the exploration is like fun. Yes. And I don't know if everything I'm doing in this game is fun or if there are things that I want. Like, there are things I want to be doing. Same with that Mario 64. To be fair, not everything, not every star you get is fun to collect necessarily. But that's just. I think that's where I'm at with that. Where I'm just like, yeah, I don't know if like this world is better than Mario 64. It's more, but it's also more grating at times.
To me, I liked all the exploration of the hub world until it got to the point toward the end where there are a couple of areas that feel like they're kind of the same-ish, where the water level goes up, and then I have to figure out like which hole do I have to swim through to get to where I want to get to, and that part got a little muddy for me, but everything else is pretty cool looking, in the aesthetic of it, like the cemetery and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, that's great.
The cemetery is very cool. Yeah, the thing that I think has kept me on board with Banjo-Kazooie's style of exploration, like in a way that like, you know how when you like have a friend who's like the one friend who sticks by you during your breakup kind of thing. Like everybody else takes the other person's side and they're on your side. And you're like, rest of my life, no matter what, they're my friend and I rock with them. Like the reason I think I rock with Banjo-Kazooie's exploration is because of Stop and Swap. And we haven't talked about this a bunch, but if you like 100% the game, they show some hints for areas you cannot get into in Banjo-Kazooie without link. The plan was to link up with Banjo-Tooie and like turn the like pull the cartridge out of your Nintendo 64 while it was off and switch the other one back. Whoa. So the idea that no matter how much I ever find in Banjo-Kazooie, I'll never have found enough because I know there's more and I know it's impossible. And maybe this one little hole that if I do take an entire trip around Gruntilda's lair as the pumpkin from the graveyard, maybe that hole is the thing that finally unlocks this Stop and Swap thing that I know now intellectually it will not.
I mean, McCollor, this is the first time I've played far enough, and I think it's at I think this is my favorite name of any of the worlds because it's so illogical to just name it this, but Freezeezy Peak.
Oh.
There's in the little, I think it's in the Walrus's Den, there you see this silver key that was talked about for so much that is you can't actually use in this game, but they originally planned you to be able to.
Yes.
For this, was it for Stop and Swap or just a separate thing entirely? Do you know?
It was okay. So I think I don't know if the key stuff was ever answered. The key is referenced in the game files for Donkey Kong 64.
What?
Oh man.
I'm about to do a seance with all these games.
Right?
Were you going to say something else, McCollor?
No. I was going to begin rambling on Stop and Swap, and it's good you stopped me. I don't
can
necessarily
swap
have
back
a point,
into it,
but it's my favorite thing of all video games.
I dare not stop, but I want you to be able to swap as much as you'd like because this is the time to talk about this.
I just
talk swap.
It's such an interest. It almost makes me not want to play Banjo-Tooie because I kind of know a little bit of how they like handled it, but because the technology like. Apparently, Nintendo, the plan was you're playing something in Banjo-Tooie, you rip the cartridge out, and you put your Banjo-Kazooie cartridge back into your Nintendo 64. And then that little transfer pack saves some data, and that would unlock your
what's the power of the Jinjos, who haven't talked about up to this point. We're an hour in and we haven't brought up the Jinjos.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
The Jinjos have a role to play in this.
Oh, they're like
I'm so
hobbits.
confident.
Of course,
it feels like the Jinjos are the key to this, and I don't know why I think that.
In this whole game, you're like, these are these peasants I'm saving, and then turns out they're like the most important creatures in the world at the very end.
Yeah,
that might be why.
To the Jinjo point, but I want to address something Jeremy was talking about because I think you're heading down a road, Jeremy, which is on the money,
which is dangerous,
and you got to stop talking because we're gonna get shut down.
Yeah, watch yourself.
No, I was gonna say something you might be getting to is something that I personally totally agree with, which is I don't think that is that sometimes less is more and more is not always better, but the things that this game does differently than Super Mario 64, the type of platforming you're doing, it is way more, I will say, I think way more collecting focused because of all the currencies and the things you can collect. I still love it for what it is, and not all of it, but enjoyed so much of it in this game. There are definitely moments and jiggies and things that I think are frustrating and not well designed. And there's one in particular near the end in Clanker's Cavern that I think is like, I'm like, why? I actually was like, I don't need to do this. I'm leaving it. And
which one?
It's the one where you have to like, you have to turn off all the fans and then you go into the core of the ship. You got to do the crazy platforming and then you got to race back to the ship's butthole at the end. And you got to swim through and get that jiggy before the thing restarts. And you have to be. It's a great challenge, I think, but I just decided it wasn't for me.
That's the one I didn't get. I got everything but that one.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this game is for us, maybe definitely for me. I'll speak for myself. For me, this is not the last. This is far from the last time I will be playing Banjo-Kazooie. I will be playing Banjo-Kazooie until I'm dead. I'm fascinated with Banjo-Kazooie in a way that I might even be more fascinated with it than Mario 64. I've also played it less. There are things about it that are more interesting to me. But that whole thing of like, you know, I would recommend a child pick up Mario 64 and play it because of its accessibility. I don't think I'm giving a kid Banjo-Kazooie and being like, in 2026, and being like, try this. I just don't think.
Well, I just don't know how a kid would be able to get far ahead, especially in the middle of the game where you do have to explore to figure out how to get to the next level and stuff. Because there's some
I do
stuff
remember
had to
my
look
first
up.
playthrough, like those note doors were hard stops for me.
They were hard when I was a kid, and I just would lose interest. My ADHD would take over, and I would just bounce. But yeah, it's I just think it like there's just stuff about it that it's almost like we know now. Oh yeah, like we want to have light collectibles throughout and not do the whole thing just this way. But it's almost like we needed Banjo-Kazooie, and more specifically Banjo-Tooie, to really figure that out, because they commit all of their worst sins in Banjo-Tooie. It's like them at doing their darkest impulses or something. And it's so fun and funny and crazy to behold it. It's like but do I think it's just fun because I love video games and video game history and video game design? I think that's more like where I land on it, is that I don't know if I think this was a mistake ultimately to have this much going on.
Yeah, I
think you're right. I do feel that way a lot of Banjo-Kazooie, just in the sense that like a bear and a bird together is a funny idea, but like, I don't know. I don't feel like there are a ton of interesting like enemies. There's a lot of just these generic like grunt guys that, like, again, I have affection for, but because I've already got this built-in affection for Banjo-Kazooie.
Well, I do like the dialogue in it. They try to go for like Kazooie is kind of snarky to a lot of the other characters you interact, especially
and Banjo.
Bottle
and
Banjo. I like that. And and the character, the sister of Grunty, who appears.
Is it Brentilda?
Yeah, and she gives you like, essentially, you don't know this till much later, but she's giving you answers to this big quiz at the very end, and it's all like just shitting on her sister.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's what she sounds like.
Yeah, that was good.
Thank you.
I'm like, I know enough about Gruntilda. I get it.
I will say I never had a Nintendo Power subscription, but I did have a subscription to Hag Monthly that Grunty was a part of.
Speaking of, Hag Monthly and stuff, the humor in this game, it has the sort of patented rare humor. I think they especially, between these two games and Conquer, they really let it fly, and especially Conquer, they let their hair down, as far as I've heard. I've never actually played it, but this game has plenty of.
You don't want to give to a kid.
Yeah,
Conquer is shocking.
Yeah. I am interested though.
I did forget about Conquer, and here I'm accusing Banjo-Tooie of all their darkest impulses. But it might be Conquer, because Conquer doesn't even. Has anyone here played it?
No.
Yeah.
McCollor, correct me if I'm wrong, but it doesn't even have like conventional like hub world stuff. It's like you're just kind of knocking around into things, like into little stories and doing little esoteric events,
like vignettes.
Very
almost?
much so.
Yeah.
To the point where, like, you know how Banjo-Kazooie has a flight pad, and you see the flight pad in different levels, and you know how a flight pad works. Conquer's, it's like they have a flight pad, but it's for whatever we want it to be this time.
Yeah.
It's like you go and you press B on these pads, and like sometimes he gets drunk, and sometimes he goes to the Matrix. And it's just the craziest shit that's ever happened.
Funny.
We gotta play Conquer. We gotta do that for a games club.
I do want to play it someday. Yeah, that's our next games club. We'll do Conquer or the Guy game, one of which you should never play. What I wanted to say,
beat him and eat him. Do that.
Eat it and eat it.
Beat him or eat him. Look it up.
They covered that in Nintendo Power.
God, what was the train I was kind of on for a second? Does anyone remember? We got on so many tangents where I actually forgot.
Enemies, Gruntilda, voices.
Oh, the humor in the game.
The humor.
Some of it is fine. Some of it is childish. I ultimately am like kind of warm on it. Like I am a lot of elements. I feel like so many elements of this game I like at first, I get annoyed with, and then I end up coming around on almost like a full character arc or a full hero's journey with every aspect of this game. But I like the humor. I like the way that people are characterized. And it never kind of stops throughout this game. Do you guys have an opinion really on this whole, I guess, element of it?
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I don't think I ever was turned off by the humor. I think I was more turned off of having the camera turn all crazy for me in battles and stuff. And that really that's what got me to not like the music in it, is because I was just
stuck listening to
the
it.
constant I have to redo this battle over and over again, and just hitting my head against the wall doing. And so but I don't know, I to go back to the humor thing, I find it very charming for this world, and it never like overstayed its welcome for me.
It should be so much less funny than it is. Like it should be terrible, but it's like actually not bad.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Yeah. Like I found myself going like, huh, like more than a few times. And to be fair, I also do kind of think Conker's funny, and I do think Banjo-Tooie is funny. I do think that they're not the least funny. Like there are worse video games trying to pass off as funny out there. Sometimes I think the writing in like Paper Mario is less funny than this.
I'll have to revisit.
That's interesting. I was struggling with a lot of the humor in the game this most recent playthrough, and it's almost like a really recent reframe that I grew to like it, in that like I noticed that Kazooie's insults were almost observational without a take. And it would just be like, it was just like point out something at, like if I was going to insult Connor, I'd be like, hey, great podcast, headphones boy.
Yeah.
And it's just like a thing he sees you wearing and then calling you a boy. And I grew to like that, because it almost struck me as like Kazooie is maybe not naturally mean, but wants, we all had that summer where we were like trying to reinvent ourselves.
Oh,
like,
interesting.
Kazooie is trying to become a mean person, but is just too nice. So it could
my
just be
thing
like,
is snarkiness, but she's not that. Like,
it's
it's not really snark.
It's neutral. It's not even nice. It's just a thing they have on or are doing.
I feel like sometimes though, correct me if you guys think I'm wrong about this, but like the game can like lean into being kind of mean, like or it's obsessed with like weight and being ugly versus pretty, and like calling, like I feel like Bottles gets made fun of a lot in this game, maybe. And it's just like I don't know. I as a child of the '90s, I don't bat an eye. I like, I'm like, yeah, cool. Fart and puke more, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, maybe I also wonder if like a modern, like a child today would be like, oh, how dare you?
Well, this game would get canceled now by Gen
That's what I'm saying, July.
Sure.
I want to levy one specific critique at this game before I sort of ask you guys about your highlights that you have that are on subjects we maybe haven't even discussed. And then eventually we can do closing thoughts and close out. But one critique that I have, that someone made me think of this earlier, which is the way that collecting works in individual worlds. I think that I much prefer a game where I can dip in and collect something permanently. Not just a star or a Jiggy or a golden banana, but even like a musical note or a colored banana, what have you. This game, because sometimes, we only have so much time in the day. Maybe I have a half hour to play Banjo-Kazooie. I was discouraged from playing the game during that period because sure, maybe I could go get a Jiggy, but if I'm going to be going through some of these worlds, spending all this time, I want to try to collect as many notes as possible, because when you re-enter the world, that's just your high score, the amount you collected at the best time you did, that adds to your hub world total. That it mostly bothered me that that's how it is. So then I approached the game later of like, if I'm gonna play this, I'm gonna do as long of a, like when I did TikTok, or not TikTok clock, Click Clock Woods or Wood, I played the game for like 45 minutes. We went and got breakfast. I left my N64 on like I was in the 90s. I came back, played it for another 45, and got all 100 notes because I didn't want to start over.
Do you have to start over with notes in this game?
Yes.
If you leave the level or die, it says, congratulations, your top note score was 35 or whatever you had. And then you have to collect all of those notes again. They fixed that in the Xbox Live version. The Xbox Live version is if you collect a note, you have it.
I didn't remember that. Again, playing back through it for this podcast, I really was not in collectathon mode. I was more in like see the game mode. But TUI, you do it anytime you collect a note, it's yours. You never have to go back and find that note again.
I also had that, but I was playing the 64 ROM, so I don't know if that was just a part of the emulator that they.
That's probably in the settings.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
That's so interesting. So it treats it like coins in Mario 64, with like the 100 coins, where you can always go back and get the same. Okay.
Yeah, which I think I'd come out on that being a negative for me, or like a down, something I just didn't like.
Some of those notes are pretty difficult to find later on in the later worlds. So yeah, if you
I would say just today I collected 400 notes in Click Clock Woods. I died at 97.
No. What about Jinjos? Do those stay collected once you collect them?
They start again too.
Those did start again for me as well, and that was a decent enough challenge that I was okay with that, because it's only 5 of those you have to find in each world.
Yes.
Wow. Interesting. Yeah, that is a little frustrating.
It changes how you play the game. Like you know what? I will say I don't mind that it changes the sort of flavor of mascot platformer, where I'm valuing every little honeycomb piece. Like I kill an enemy, I'm not just running to the honeycomb. I'm staying away from it unless I need it.
Yeah.
Yep. And they stay there the whole time.
Yes, they'll stay.
They don't do that Mario 64 bullshit where they flash after a couple seconds.
That is nice that they stay there.
It's amazing. You know what I noticed in Click Clock Wood, when you're revisiting the 4 different seasons, going in and out of doors into the like little hub area, they even keep them there, I think, unless you die or reset the game, which is, I'm like kind of impressed at what the game is able to remember memory-wise. Well, speaking of all these levels and the moments, I wanted to go around and give everyone a chance to maybe highlight their favorite moment in the game, a level, or even just something we haven't brought up yet that you want to shout out. Jeremy, you kind of made a noise just now. Are you ready to be called on first?
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just one highlight. Just one.
Hey, you can, if you want to sneak in a second one while I'm not looking.
Well, Freeze Easy Breeze, or whatever the name of that place is Peak is a stage that I will play every Christmas holiday.
Aww.
I love playing up to that point in Banjo-Kazooie, and then like playing through the Christmas area. I just really like that stage for some reason. I think it's really aesthetically nice, and there's like interesting guys there to meet, and but then of course give me a haunted mansion stage in anything, anytime.
So that's my favorite level in the game.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite as well. There are arduous tasks to do in both, but I don't care. They're just like really good looking places with fun looking stuff. Definitely highlights.
The music at Freezeezy Peak, because I've never gotten to this world in this game, but I realize it's on a bunch of the like YouTube Nintendo Christmas music mixes that I'll listen to. So when it started, and by the way, it's amazing.
You knew it.
Yes, I knew it. I love that. A difference between this and DK64 is that I believe every level, there might be like 1 or 2 that are reused, but in the specific levels that we've been referring to, they have their own original music track. It's not a remixed version of the main theme. I kind of like the way DK64 does it too, where it's the same Donkey Kong 64 theme. It's just remixed with different instruments based on where you are, to give a different personality. But here, I do love the tracks. And Jeremy, Freezeezy Peak is so good. And July, you were saying Mad Monster Mansion for you?
Yeah, that's it for me, especially when you get to the organ section with
Oh
floating
my
hand.
goodness.
That's so cool.
It's funny how you'll go into, and I don't have a problem with this at all. It's almost like a childlike sense. It adds like a childlike sense of wonder of you'll go in an area like in a house in that there's a couple buildings in that place. You go
Yeah.
into the well, you go into the church, you go into the house or the mansion of the Mad Monster Mansion,
The titular
and
Mad Monster Mansion.
there's like at least the church is in the well way bigger than they appear. It's like going into like that thing they have in Harry Potter where you like go into the bag and it's a tent. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, they kind of sneak
Yes.
in those big stages from Mario here
Yes.
in the mansion. Here, in the
Hermione's
mansion
bedroom.
stage.
Is that what you're talking about?
Hermione's bedroom?
Anyway,
Hermione has a purse that is infinite space.
That's right.
Connor's
Oh, I think
talking
I'm
about the
conflating two
tents
ideas.
at the Quidditch World Cup.
Yes.
yes.
But yeah, July, that
Sure,
level was
Hermione's
such a
bedroom is
highlight
something
for
else.
me.
Yeah,
It's
same.
yeah, it's so good. There's those. I had a couple. It was fun to have moments in this game where like I don't know how to tackle a task or hurt an enemy, but you'll go with an instinct and it works. And that happened with me to like the green ghouls in this level who go like "Whoa," when they come after you. And I was like, I don't think I can hurt them because they hurt me. And I put on the gold feather. I think they get called gold finger. The gold finger.
Gold.
Oh, you put on Goldfinger.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, humor's a little outdated for me.
Yeah.
I love that that'll make the ghouls explode as well.
Love that. Yes.
McCollor, do you have an element we haven't discussed or a moment or a level you want to bring up?
We brushed on it. I think I have a soft spot in my heart for Clinker's Cavern.
Oh, I love Clanker.
I know. Well, just because
Mhm.
he scared me so much when I first saw him, and that was like a shocking moment. Like you swim through this very narrow tunnel and you see this giant metal shark monster, and he ends up becoming nice. And you
He's kind
end
of a
up
good
like,
boy. Yeah.
yeah, you set him free and you go inside of him and you explore his insides. I just think that level is so cool, and that it's like it's pretty small and it's all designed around this guy Clanker, and like everything about it is like deep down at the bottom is where his chain lies, where you have to go unlock him, and then getting inside of him is like these weird obstacle courses, and suddenly I can fly in him. It's just like it feels so small, but it's so like character focused. Like I feel like for my money, Clanker is the success of this game, a character that scared me so much at first that I ended up falling in love with.
What a fun idea, too. This is like a man-made shark ship thing that seemingly has its own life and personality.
Right.
Like they do that a lot in these games, giving thing a big googly eyes and then it's just it lives. But I still
Now it's
like
alive.
it.
Yeah.
I like his all the different insides that he has, McCollor, and how it's when he's out of the water when you help him, and I think you turn the key to release his anchor or whatever. He has that blowhole thing that you also use as a platform to go to the top of the stage.
Yes.
It's so good.
I remember going like riding that platform up to the top and getting the puzzle piece up there, but then this is the first time I'm playing it. Also, when that platform goes up, you can go inside of him through that hole. Like it just felt like really, I don't know, if this kind of metal monster existed, this is how you would get inside of him.
And he would have spinning saws in this middle of his tummy that you have to use the gold finger move
muscles.
to get past. Yeah.
He's both metal and alive.
He's kind of an android.
Oh, Android 20.
I do love that about this and other sections of the game where there are multiple entrances that lead you to different places within that world. So like if you would enter through his teeth, you're in another section of his insides.
Yeah, and how like
and a lot of times it like go ahead, sorry.
Oh, after you, buddy.
A lot of times it seems like the entrance will lead you to the same place, but it's actually a level one above it. Like that's where you find the Gruntilda switch in Clanker's Cavern. It seems like it's just going to be another way into his mouth, but it actually is another spinning blade section that you can dip through.
Yeah. Yes, that is so good. I to the to that same idea, I love like different entrances to the same space. I love when you enter like on maybe a lower floor and you can see that there's a whole other area you can't reach, and then you see a door and you're like, where is that door or entrance on this building, or I don't know, android fish, whatever he is. For me, I think the thing I want to underline again is uh is the is the 3D models, is all of the specific one-off designs that they have in this game.
Yeah, like the game over Grunty.
Like the game, I mean, actually specifically, there's a couple reasons why I like that one. I'll save them for off pod.
Okay, good.
But they're like, I'm thinking of the little guy who plays his instrument for the snake in Gobi's Valley, or even Gobi himself. This, like,
Gobi's
camel.
cool.
I love Gobi is like the most harassed character in this game. You stomp, you like beak, like slam his back in 3 different levels, and finally he's like, I'm out of here. Like, I am gone.
I'm going to a different world.
He says, I'm going to the lava world, which to my child brain was like, there is a lava world in this game, and once I get Stop and Swap, I'll get there.
Well, so who has anyone here played Banjo-Tooie?
It's been so long, buddy.
I think I remember. I might have got there, or I was told about it.
There's
a Banjo-Tooie, right?
Yeah, there's a part where you go to like kind of a lava area of a circus world, and there's Gobi, and then there was another character from this game are in prison in there. No. And it's good. You go find Gobi, and Gobi's like, "Remember me? Get me out of here."
We even talked about
and you
briefly.
Don't. You get punished if you do.
Haven't yet. I'll say that because I don't know how to get him out.
I wanted to add one quick thing, which was we talked briefly about the transformations in this game. And thankfully they're not problematic at all. Like the character that helps you transform, Mumbo, nothing to see there. But I do like the little transformations. It's funny though.
Wait, who's that? What character is that?
Oh, you know Mumbo, the shaman. They call him Bone.
How did we allow both Mumbo and the guy from Crash Bandicoot to exist?
Oh, I was gonna say
the mask.
He just reminded me of Akubaku.
Akubaku and Mambo.
Yeah.
Mumbo?
They just had if you had like a marsupial character or a brown furred character in your game, and a mammal, it had to have one of these guys.
They both make like the same sounds too.
Aku.
Yeah, they do. There's not a transformation in every level, which is funny and unusual to me. Like, it's kind of strange that they didn't build one for all of them.
Yeah, there's only how many? There's like 3 or 4.
I think it was every other level. It would be either, and that's why I remember a couple places finding like small little flight areas. It felt like every level was either a transform area or a flight area. Because you don't fly in every level, like throughout the world. Again, like Clanker's Cavern has one little room where you're allowed to fly, but like the levels built around getting a flight pad and the levels built around finding little holes. It feels like they alternated back and forth between those.
It is about half of them as I'm looking at this sheet of the like 9 main levels here. It's about half of them.
So you turn into an ant, a bee,
a pumpkin, an alligator. Oh, I think my favorite one is the walrus. He has a crazy jump. He jumps so high.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
And then the bee, and the pumpkin. Yeah.
And a secret washing machine.
You do in this game?
That's true. I don't know how to do it, but there is a way. It's like a Mumbo. Like if you transform a certain number of times, or maybe like every 50th time you transform, and it might only be in Mad Monster Mansion, maybe. I'm making this up. Mumbo will sometimes screw up and turn you into a washing machine.
Oh, interesting.
That's
cool. Funny. I never saw it.
That's cool.
There's also something that I looked up when I was looking something else up for the game that
Game Over Grunty.
Not that. There's like a section in the desert where you can like ground stomp letters. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Apparently that's like a hub for like secrets.
Oh yeah, I bet.
And
in Treasure Trove Cove.
Yes, and
in the sandcastle.
Yes, and you can
unlock put in like codes.
You can put in codes for cheat codes.
Hot coffee.
But I think if you do too many at once, Grunty will erase your save file.
No.
This is true.
It's true, yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
Which is a weird mechanic of the game.
I guess 'cause she's a bad mama.
And that cave is where not only did they, when they eventually data mined this game and found out how to get the stop and swap eggs, it is through that castle. There are little phrases you put in, but also that's where I spent a ton of my time as a child, just on the phone with my cousin while we both played Banjo-Kazooie, trying different phrases in that sandcastle, trying to unlock.
Step on me, Grunty.
Yeah,
That's amazing. Speaking of, before we close, I do want to get a quick word from whoever wants to speak about the final boss, because I actually like I thought it was really hard, but I grew to actually love this boss and the variety here. It took me I think it took me like, sorry, July, 4 or 5 tries.
Wow, good for you.
To get here. But I love how all the different things that it challenges you to do, and how specifically one thing I really like about it, which might be frustrating for some, I like how it's not as simple as running away from her spells, like the normal red one, is that she will throw it where you're going, kind of like a quarterback, McCollor. So you have to like start one way and then cut the other way.
You talking about the fireball?
Yes. Yeah, so you'll run one way, and if you just keep running, it's going to hit you. So you got to cut back. The green one's heat-seeking. I love the flying element, the egg part, I think my favorite sound in the game is Kazooie's beak move, where she goes, I love that move. And the Jinjo thing didn't really make sense at the end, but like I'm like all for a giant Jinjo just being the thing that kills her.
I love it.
That's your final Smash, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, in Smash.
Oh.
Banjo's final Smash.
That's cool.
Doesn't have to
I always had this mythology with my friend who played this game with me growing up. This is my same Resident Evil friend, Jake. We always decided that the Jinjos were like communist freedom fighters. So every time we'd get them, we'd be like, or there's more of us than there are.
Wait, do that again, because the Zoom keeps cutting you out.
I'll do it in a slightly less high voice. It was like, fight the revolution, or there are more of us than there are of them.
Oh, that's awesome.
Pretty good.
Yeah, any final boss thoughts before we do final thoughts?
Well, I wanted to bring up
how did you do this, July?
For the end of the game, it was getting a little difficult with the camera issues for the last level for me, and also just like collecting all the notes. At a certain point I was like trying to figure out where the rest of the notes, so I just was like, I'm not going to collect all the pieces up to that point. And then I finally got to Grunty, beat the whole quiz, which I do love that as a mechanic to get to the boss. And
I heard
the quiz is a great idea.
Yeah, and it's like the first ending of the game, right?
Yeah
you can get a game over screen here, but can continue on to get the true ending. But all that to say is you get to the ending where you right before you're gonna fight Grunty, and there are other doors that unlock extra collectibles for you, like unlimited red feather, unlimited eggs, and gold and all this stuff. And so and on top of that, you need even more jigsaw pieces to just even enter the battle. So at that point, it forces you to go back and finish up the
I had to go back and get 2.
Yeah, so I had to do that. And then but as far as the battle goes, after about 2 hours of trying to do this and then figuring out what was the whole issue, I found it I found it pretty easy by that point. And I got it in like 2 tries. The only thing that was kind of tricky for me was lining up the eggs to get into the Jinjo statues. It wasn't always like precise for me.
I would shove Kazooie's face in that thing if I could. Yeah.
Like if it was a quick time event, like it feels like you could just Banjo jams Kazooie in there and just like squeeze his neck.
I would love that.
Yeah, any last words on the final boss or run 2 before we do closing thoughts?
Man, I watched a video of it because I didn't make it there, and I was like, I want to play this so bad. This looks so fun.
It's pretty good.
I kind of want to go back and play it too. I think the first time I played through this game, I did not do the Gruntilda fight. I stopped at the quiz, I think, or I did the quiz. I stopped at that first game over or that first credit roll or whatever, and I remember feeling so done that I was just like, I know there's a thing, but like Donkey Kong 64 had the same effect on me. Where do you remember like when you get to the end of that game, there's like 2 things you have to do, like you have to play the Donkey Kong arcade game twice through or something crazy, and then that unlocks like the final boss or whatever. It's just like
it's something like that, yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah, they kind of wear out their welcome by the end.
Yeah. And
bears out its welcome.
It bears out its welcome.
Nice. Well, let's go ahead and just share some closing thoughts on this game. What we're leaving with, having all revisited it recently, I'll kick things off. For me, this game was so much fun to play, but I had to find the way I wanted to play it, which was not half-hour or 15-minute bursts. It was to really sit in a world, and it kind of forces you to do that. But I think because it does that, which I think it's wrong, I really enjoyed the time that I had with it and immersing myself in these all this personality, all getting so comfortable with the controls and feeling like kind of a master by the end, despite some things being grating. I think this is possibly a top 5 N64 game for me now.
Oh, wow.
And possibly that 5th spot's really tough. I'll tell you what those are off pod, but
okay,
yeah, this game is amazing.
Listener, you can't know.
Never. I think if you like 3D platformers, this is a recommend. I think if you are from this era and you're used to playing games like this, it's a recommend. I don't know how much I might recommend it to like a kid now, but I wouldn't be surprised if they bounced off it. But the personality, the fun, the variety, it works for me. July, what about your final thoughts?
Same for me. I think I was glad I had this reason to play through the whole thing, and I would say it makes me want to play Tui because I think I've ever played Tui, at least not to completion. And it made me grow even more fond of the character of Banjo, and it made me realize I should check the settings on for camera and controls if I'm playing games in this way, which I didn't want to. I do always try to find more of a hardware situation to play these games on, but it didn't happen for me this time, but maybe in the future.
Mr. Jeremy.
Yeah, it's my closing thoughts on this are that this is such a great 90s curiosity. It's like a lost mascot that I kind of wish we had around. I would recommend this to anybody, any millennial, anyone from the 90s who wants just a bit of nostalgia or was always curious about the game and never finished it. Like, I found it so rewarding as an adult to go back and finish it. I also found it easier as an adult to finish it, whereas when my kid brain just couldn't handle some of the complexities around it or didn't want to invest. I found it like much easier to figure out and navigate as an adult. I think in terms of is this a 3D platformer I would recommend? Probably not in general, because there are so many great ones that exist now. There's Mario Odyssey exists.
Name one.
Okay, Mario Odyssey.
All right, that's a good one.
A Hat in Time is
Astrobot
is better than this. I bet Yooka-Laylee is better than Banjo-Kazooie. I mean,
That's not true.
I actually don't know. But I'm just thinking of like there's like so many new. Jak and Daxter is better than Banjo-Kazooie. I mean, and that's an old one too. But it's like, are you a freak or not? Make a choice. Okay, if you're a freak, get on this side of the line and play Banjo-Kazooie.
I need every bad bitch up in Equinox.
Yes.
I need to know right now if you like Banjo-Kazooie or not.
That's the question being asked in the song. last but not least, Michael McCollor, what are you leaving us with today?
Yeah, I was kind of worried coming into this podcast, thinking like, I love this game so much, but I'm wondering how much of it, like, this might be the most nostalgia-soaked game in my repertoire. I love this game so much. If I played it for the first time this year, I probably wouldn't like it at all. And I was like, it was so great to hear. Yeah. I'll see you on my headlining at the Tuscaloosa Headliner Club next week. No, I just like hearing Connor talk about like, okay, there's a top 5 N64 game. July was like, okay, yeah, I like it. And I was like, okay, other people like this game too, who are playing it for the first time. But then Jeremy kind of like brought me back to reality. I was like, yeah, it's tough in a lot of things. A lot of the things are outdated. A lot of the gameplay mechanics don't hold up today. And you know, I'm a standard bearer for classic Resident Evils. I know those games don't really work today either. Like I'm so happy that like, all right, I got mine. I got my experience with Banjo-Kazooie. I will probably not love. I like Hat in Time a lot, but like, there's no. I don't know what the like clear successor is to Banjo-Kazooie. Like what the kid 10 years younger than me holds in as much affection. It might be Jak and Daxter. Like Jak and Daxter didn't really stick for me. And that's okay, because I got Banjo-Kazooie, and the kid 10 years younger than me is going to get Jak and Daxter, and that's going to stick for them. So, yeah, Banjo-Kazooie, it's funny, it's weird, like, its specifics are interesting to me. Puzzle pieces are a fun thing to collect. Like, I don't know, that speaks to... it's almost a detective story, the way you're collecting the pieces and putting together the bigger picture.
Wait a minute.
But yeah, like its specific vocabulary resonates so deep in my bones. I love this game forever. And if you don't, I get it.
If you don't, you're wrong. Thank you, McCollor.
Would Donkey Kong Bonanza feel like a good successor to this? Like a good modern kind of thing?
I don't think so as much. But I could be swayed. And speaking of swaying, why don't we sway on to the end of this episode? Guys, thank you all so much for joining me on Co-op episode 68 to discuss Banjo-Kazooie. Again, the 4 portsmen were here to deliver the good stuff. Let's plug as we head out here. I'll do some show plugs after these fellas. July, you plugged earlier. Do you want to?
Yeah, I already did my plugs.
Okay.
The only thing else I would like to say is I agree everything that was just said. By no means is this a perfect game. I had a great time playing it, and I will say, outside of the controlling the camera issues, I think the first half of this game is pretty fun, and I think any Gen Z kid would love it.
Okay.
I think when it gets a little tougher toward the second half, maybe that's where they would drop off. But
what about Gen Alpha?
Gen Alpha,
no, they're irony poisoned.
Like yeah, they would not like this.
Mr. Jeremy Schmidt, plugs for us.
Same as before. Video Games, a comedy show, anywhere podcasts can be found.
And Michael McCollor.
Yeah, check out my YouTube, youtube.com/@secretblimp, where I have an almost complete playthrough of this game.
Thank you, buddy. All these plugs, including mine right here, can be found in the show notes wherever you're watching or listening, including the cover art for this podcast is done by Glenn J. His Instagram can be found and a link in the show notes. This podcast is produced, edited, and the original music throughout is done by a little man here known as Jeremy Schmidt. You can follow me on Blue Sky. You can follow the show on YouTube, Blue Sky, or Instagram if you don't already. Follow us all over the place. And then lastly, if you're not already subscribed to the Patreon, please consider going to check us out there and see what bonus things we offer at your behest for subscribing to us. And if you're already there, share the show with a friend, especially this episode. A lot of people love this game. Let them hear our thoughts on Banjo-Kazooie. But that will do it for another episode of the Call Me By Your Game co-op series. We will see you on the next one.